Hi everyone, this is the second and final part of my quote-unquote no jump run of Kingdom Hearts 1, which I am failing with flying colors at. If you haven't seen the first video, watch that and come back so you're not too lost. Link is in the description. So this run has transformed itself into the least amount of jumps required, and if you watched the last video, you'll know we ended with ourselves ready to go to Monstro and get eaten. We are currently sitting in at, or should I say jumping in at, 39 jumps total. I need new jokes. I don't even think these are funny enough to qualify for jokes. But now we can go to Monstro. We all know this level is going to be bad, as this is the level we get high jump in, so we are probably going to use high jump. Obvious answer is obvious. So being in the literal chamber 1, there's good and bad news. The bad news is that we have to do our first jump for the level. The good news is that there won't be another one for a while. Yes, I know you could have guessed that by now. It is possible to just walk most of the way to the last chamber. To move from chamber 6 to 5, make sure to hit one of these pots above, and Sora will jump towards it. And chamber 4 is where you have to then do your second jump into the bowels and have a team up with Riku. Like everything else, the boss here can go down without jumping, but it takes just a little longer than it normally would. After beating the boss, you are sent back to Geppetto, so you can dodge roll onto the outer layer of the boat and slow walk your way to where you can jump to the wooden platform on the other side of Monstro normally. Then, there will be 2 more jumps. So for Monstro, this will be your 3rd and 4th jumps. At first I thought this was a 5th jump, but if you hit it just right, Sora will randomly decide to jump attack and propel himself upward, and you can dodge roll to the next platform. So let's take a little detour for a second. One of the summons, Dumbo, has the unique ability to fly with Sora, so we can use Dumbo to get up to higher places without Sora having to actually jump, which we will do in this run. Unfortunately, we can only use Dumbo in places where there are enemies. That being said, Dumbo's primary use is to skip jumps in this run. To get Dumbo, you need to do 5 jumps. 3 jumps to actually get Dumbo from the chest. This was actually a lot harder to do than it looks. The 4th jump, to get access to the save point, you need to go to the save point so you can travel back to Traverse Town and talk to the fairy godmother. Then, when you travel back to Monstro, you will have to do the exact same jump to put you back at the save point because the game puts you back at the front of the mouth by Monstro's teeth. So for Dumbo to be valuable to us, we must save 6 or more jumps using him. To my knowledge, there are only 7 jumps that he will save us from doing, so he is worthwhile, as he saves us from doing 2 jumps. 7 minus 5 equals 2. I know, groundbreaking mathematics. He saves us from jumping over 4 blocks in Hollow Bastion's first and second visits, 2 jumps in Neverland, and 1 jump in Monstro itself. Enough about Dumbo, he's a Dumbo. Back to Monstro. You can use these toadstool enemies to get a little higher, but you still end up having to jump up an additional 4 times. However, thanks to Dumbo, we can fly up to this platform and only do 3 jumps. And finally beating this guy again without Riku is just as easy as it was last time, since Riku didn't do anything except run in a circle, thus bringing the total jump count for Monstro up to 7 jumps. So between choosing Atlantica and Halloween Town for the no jump challenge, I chose Atlantica. So finally a world with 0 jumps, and all it took was Sora to lose his legs. We can finally go to Neverland now. This level is actually pretty easy for the no jump run. There's only 1 spot in here where you have to jump, and it's here. Unfortunately, this takes 2 jumps. Correction, thanks to the mystical power of Dumbo, it takes none. Since we have him, we can just fly past that and not have to jump, making this world have 0 jumps. Other than that, Shadow, Sora, and Hook both go down relatively easily. You even fly for Hook, so you won't have to worry about accidentally jumping. Here's a detail that you may have missed. Did you know that the clock tower in the World Select screen for Neverland's homeworld has one of the times in the wrong place? Whoa Charlie, you're so observant. Whoa, what a great plug to remind everyone to watch my other videos on details they may have missed in Kingdom Hearts 3. So there is good and bad news. Good news, this world is going to set a record. Bad news, it's the record for most jumps. Literally, as we start, we need to do 5 jumps to get Beast to join us, and Donald and Goofy to abandon us. It would be 6, but Riku teleports us, remember that. Then, we need to do 3 more jumps to get to the castle area, making this waterfall area 8 jumps total. There is 2 jumps for the switch puzzle to get to the Shield Heartless. Sora's jump here with Beast doesn't count. Make sure you glide into the bubble to avoid jumping. You have to do the switch puzzle in reverse this time, so that's 2 more jumps, and leaving by jumping onto the bubbles requires 2 more jumps. Riku Ansem boss goes down quite easily. Dodge roll at just the right angle to get the Theon book so you don't have to jump on the table. 1 jump is needed to get this emblem piece, just fall from above to get the next emblem piece, since you can't walk to it on the ground floor. Once upon a time you had to jump over these 2 blocks, but the good news, Dumbo saved the day, so now Sora can rest his legs and avoid not jumping. The first Maleficent boss fight is doable. I would have preferred the gravity spell, but since we skipped Olympus and Halloween Town, we will never get gravity. It's honestly not that bad compared to Dragon Maleficent. For Dragon Maleficent, I actually used Tinkerbell and Arrow and just tanked the dragon's flames on the ground, another benefit of playing on beginner. Then just bully Ansem Riku to submit. As the Heartless, just keep falling and you'll be there. That makes the total jumps for Hollow Bastion to be 15 jumps. So there is good news and bad news. The good news is we don't have to go back to the sewer and see Leon, so that saves us a jump. But the bad news is we need to go back to the sewer to see Kairi, so that's a jump we have to do. We just talked to Sid and we're good to go to Hollow Bastion for one last time, making this trip have 1 jump. Again, we have to jump up on these platforms to get to the castle, and it takes 9 jumps to get out of this area. The reason this takes 9 jumps instead of 8 like before is because Riku doesn't help Sora this time. And of course, Sora can keep resting his legs thanks to the Dumbo skip, bringing the total jump count for Hollow Bastion's visit 2 to 9 jumps. After that, you can walk into the portal to fight Behemoth. He isn't too hard and you can definitely kill him without jumping. It just takes a lot of time to kill him. Another test of patience rather than skill. You're just waiting for Behemoth to lower his head for you to whack it. So we are finally here. Just run through the level, do not engage in any fights that you don't want to unless you really need the XP. There are 2 mandatory Behemoth fights again. Yay, said no one unenthusiastically. All the Heartless here, even in the final area, should not cause too much trouble on beginner. One thing you should know about doing this run is that you will have to fight the Heartless in the Olympus Coliseum and Boogie's Roulette Wheel. For Boogie's Roulette Wheel, you just want to make sure that you end the Heartless fight above the wheel on the concrete, not inside it as there is no way out. Alternatively, you can save 1 enemy for the end and use Dumbo to fly out. Beating Satan is easy since we can fight him as we normally would. For this final door, you can dodge roll into it. So far we have done no jumps for the end of the world level. Good job guys. So now we have the boss gauntlets. The funny thing about this is that we have to use one jump to jump over this to start the fight with Ansem. So that's our first jump for the boss rush gauntlet. You can beat Ansem without jumping. For this Ansem fight, you don't need to jump and fly, just run in a circle. You can basically go through the rest of the gauntlet all the way to final Ansem without jumping. The game even takes away the ability to jump since you're flying, but for the sake of being complete, I went all the way to show me beating Ansem with Donald and Goofy. And so for the end of the world level, we only have to do one jump. So we've beaten the game and we are mission failed. I can't say that I imagined doing this run with so many jumps, as I had no expectation for how many there would be, but I'm glad it's less than 100. For those of you that weren't keeping count, we have 2 jumps from Dive to the Heart, 6 jumps from Destiny Islands, 0 jumps from Traverse Town's first visit, 1 jump from Wonderland, 9 jumps from Deep Jungle, 7 jumps from Traverse Town's second visit, 14 jumps from Agrabah, 7 jumps from Monstro, 0 jumps from Atlantica, 0 jumps from Neverland, 15 jumps from Hollow Bastion, 1 jump from Traverse Town's third visit, 9 jumps from Hollow Bastion's second visit, 1 jump from End of the World, and 5 jumps to acquire Dumbo. That brings the total to 77 jumps. I hope you guys enjoyed the jumpless run of Kingdom Hearts 1. We managed to keep the jump count as low as we possibly could, and I'm not sure if this could be lessened any bit, but I'm sure the Wonderland boss Trickmaster will be a point of contention for many. But on beginner mode, you don't have to jump to fight it. For those of you doing a level 1 run of this on Proud, I'm sure that various other issues will apply to make the jump count increase or perhaps decrease. Hopefully, you guys can give me any ideas for further reducing the jump count. And that about does it for this video. If you want to have fun, play on beginner and try not to jump. If you want to be a true Keyblade hero, try this challenge on level 1 Proud with unchanging equipment. Don't forget to drop a like down below. Thank you for watching. Kingdom Hearts 2 is next for the No Jump Run challenge, and I think it'll be better since Kingdom Hearts 2 is more combat oriented than the first game. Until next time.